Everyone, I welcome you all to this video. And today in this video, we are going to discuss about the foreign key constraint. So we have already discussed about the primary key constraint in the last video. And now let's click on new query and it will open a new query window for us. And so we are going to discuss about foreign key constraint. All right, so we will first of all, again, here we have two cases. So we have case one, and then we have, in the case one, we have when the new table has to be created. When the new table has to be created. So let's discuss about the first case first of all. So since foreign key in a table will be referencing the primary key in other table. So first of all, let's create a table which has primary key. So we can write create table and let's name this table as test. Maybe we can write primary key in place of primary. We can write in small form. We can write, maybe we can write primary key as well. No problem. So test primary key. This is the name of the table. Then bracket open, bracket close. Let's say it is having two columns. The very first column is ID column, and ID column is having data type as integer, and it's the primary key in this table. Comma, we have one more column in this table, which is the name of the student, and we can write name, and it is having data type varchar, and the maximum length can be 256. So this is the table that we are going to create first of all, and this will be used. We will be using this table to understand about the foreign key. So first of all, let's create this table. So I will select this statement and execute. So commands completed successfully. Test primary key table was created. Now let's insert some records into test primary key. So we can write insert into values, insert into table. First of all, I have to write the name of the table. So the name of the table is test primary key. Test primary key. And then the values that we have to insert. So let's say we want to insert 3 records. So for the very first record, the ID is 1. The name is Mayank. Then we have comma. Then we have ID 2 and the name is Raj. Then comma. We have record 3 with name as maybe Jayant. So if I will execute this insert statement written in line number 11, so you can see that 3 records affected and 3 records were basically inserted into test primary key table. If I will run a simple select statement to see the data, so we can simply write select star from test primary key. Let's select this statement and execute it. So this is the data that we have. Now we will have to create one more table in which foreign key will be present, and that foreign key will be referencing to the primary key in this table. So let's create the new table. So we will write create table, and then let's name this table as test foreign key. And let's say here we have 2 columns. So the very first column is your ID column, which is having data type integer. And this column is basically the foreign key in this table. So we can write foreign key. And then we can write references. Now we will have to provide the name of the first table in which the primary key exists. So the name of that table is test primary key. And then in the bracket, we will have to write the name of the column, which is the primary key column. So it is the ID column in test primary key table. Then comma. Now we can provide the other columns. So the other column in this test foreign key table is the course name. So we can write course and let's give it the data type varchar. And let's say the total character length can be 256 maximum. Now let's execute the SQL code written from line 15 to 18 and let's execute it. So commands completed successfully and this test foreign key table was created. Now let's try to insert records into this test foreign key table. So Control R and we will write insert into test foreign key. And we can write values. And now let's insert the values. So let's say the very first value that we want to insert is 1, and let's say the course is named A. So we can write 1, A and let's try to insert this record and let's see we are able to insert this record into the test foreign key table or not. Select it and execute it. So yes, we were able to insert this record. Now let's write select star from test foreign key to check the data that we have in this table. So I will simply select this statement and will execute it. So this is the data that we have. Now let's try to insert one more record where we will write insert into test foreign key values, and this time we will be inserting null value in the ID column. So null, let's name any course, let's take any course, let's say course B. So we will now try to execute the statement written in line 24, insert statement. And yes, we were able to execute this statement because I told you that the foreign key column can consist of null values. We discussed it while we were talking about the primary key foreign key concepts. If I will now execute the select star from test foreign key statement, so you will see that this is the data that we have so far. Now let's try to insert one more record into this table. So we can say insert into test foreign key values, and let's say we want to insert 5, course C. If we will now try to execute this insert statement, let's see what happens. So the insert statement conflicted with the foreign key constraint, and the conflict occurred in the database constraint. So we know that constraints DB selected and table DBO test primary key column ID. So obviously we know that these two tables are related to each other through the primary key foreign key columns. And then there is something called referential integrity, and it is maintained through the foreign key. And obviously we know that you cannot insert those values in the foreign key column in a table which are not contained in the primary key column, right? So that's why this error occurred and we were not able to insert this record. So that's what we wanted to discuss. Now let's talk about the second case where we already have an existing table, and in that table this foreign key constraint is not defined and we want that foreign key constraint to be defined. So we can write case 2 and we will say table already exists. So let's say for case 2 we are creating the table, but we will not define the foreign key constraint while creating the table. We will define it later, right? So let's see how it works. So we can write create table. Let's name it as test foreign key underscore 2, because this is the new table, test foreign key underscore 2. And then let's say it consists of 2 columns, that is ID column, integer data type, and then it consists of other column, that is your course column, which is having your var char data type, and the maximum length can be 256, and we will close it. So first we will create the table, but here you can see that in this table the foreign key is not being defined. We will later define it. So yes, so now we can assume that this test foreign key 2 table already exists and foreign key constraint is not defined in it. So how we will define that foreign key constraint in these cases? So we can write alter table, name of the table, that is test foreign key 2, add foreign key. Foreign key on which column? ID column. Foreign key on which column? ID column in this table, right? So foreign key ID, and it references the primary key column in the test primary key table. So we can write test primary key. Inside the bracket, you can write ID column, because ID column is basically the primary key column, right? And maybe we can write it in brackets. And let's try to execute the statement written in line 31 and 32. Let's select this part. And if I'll now try to execute it, so commands completed successfully. And in this way, in test foreign key table 2 as well, your ID column was defined or declared as the foreign key using this piece of code, which is written in line 31 and 32. So I hope this video was helpful and you get an idea around that how we can define foreign key constraint in an existing table and in a new table as well. So I hope this video was helpful. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.